Hey, savvy social workers. Today's question of the day is: a social worker is working with a 33-year-old who is diagnosed with major depression. The client states that during his school years, he was frequently tormented and picked on by his peers. The social worker notices that the man presents with a flat affect, is hesitant, and has a profoundly detached attitude. After exploring the client's feelings, what should the social worker do next? So right out the gate, I'm looking at that this is the next question. So that means that I am going to be paying attention to whatever the last thing is that the social worker did in this scenario, if anything. Okay. So starting with the strategy that I teach, I like to first look and see what is the presenting problem. Why is that client here? Which, it just tells me that we're working with a 33-year-old who is diagnosed with depression, right? So that's all I got for right now. Where am I in the helping process? It says is working with, so that tells me that we are past the assessment stage. We are already in the middle phase of the helping process because we have already started working with the client. So we're in the middle phase where we're doing the either planning or our active work with the client, which is specifically already tells us that we are working with the client. Just wanted to clarify that. Now, the client states that during his school years, he was frequently tormented and picked on by his peers. That does seem to be a problem, but it also says that the social worker notices that the man presents with the flat affect and all the rest of this stuff. This is going to be my priority because this is the most critical thing at the moment and in the moment that I need to address as a social worker. Yes, it says that the client stays during his high school years, which lets me know that this is past tense, and I am more concerned with what's happening right now with the client. And since there is something that is more critical than what has happened during his high school years, which I'm sure has something to do with the priority problem, but we still have to focus on the priority problem because that is from which we base our answer. So this is going to be my priority problem. I know he's here for depression. I do want to consider the whole situation, this part, but I focus in on the priority. Okay. After exploring the client's feelings right there. So it does tell me what the social worker did. And this is the last thing the social worker did. So that means I am looking for an answer that is going to be that comes after we explore our client's feelings, that is also going to address the priority problem. So after we explore our client's feelings, what do we do? And which one of these answer choices is going to address what the social worker noticed about the man? Is it option A? Describe a time when she was bullied as a kid. Is that going to address the fact that he has a flat affect, is hesitant, and a profoundly detached attitude? That is not. I'm going to eliminate that out the gate. That is not going to change his affect. Some might say that, it might help her to relate to him and make him feel comfortable, but that is not the very next thing. Remember, this is the next question, and we have explored his feelings, and we don't want to jump right into talking about ourselves and our experiences. So that is not an appropriate answer. Option B, address the fact that the client is still living in the past. Well, it does say that the man is, he's talking about what happened during his school years. Do I want to bring that up next after I explore his feelings? That could possibly be something, but it's definitely doesn't really seem too therapeutic to me. But I'm going to hold on to it just because I want to read what the other answer choices are. Okay. Option C, provide the client with psychoeducation on the relationship between bullying and depression. Okay, so we do know that the client has had some history with bullying right here, and now we're looking at his current affect, which is flat, hesitant, and profoundly detached. One thing about this, and I teach my clients this all the time, anytime I see the word detached or detachment, I know that that is associated with some type of trauma. So I am going to pause C just because it says that he's profoundly detached, and so that could be a result. If we're considering the situation, that could be his priority issue, could be a result of him being bullied. So I'm going to pause that. Option D, assist the client in developing awareness around his feeling related to being bullied. Okay. So the issue here, let's put it back in here. The main issue here, the situation is that he was bullied. He's depressed, but the main problem is even today he has a flat affect. He's very hesitant and he's profoundly detached. He has this profoundly detached attitude. So knowing that, especially with the detachment, we've explored his feelings. After we explore his feelings, remembering the phase that we're in, we're already working with him. Assisting the client in developing awareness, helping him to understand his feelings after we explore them would be the very next thing. Now, all these other ones, these other two that I paused, these are still very good, plausible answers, but this is a great example of how there can be more than one or two correct answers, but we have to fall in line with the helping process, knowing what phase we're in and what the question is asking us. And because we are in the middle phase of working with him, we've explored his feelings, and it says what should the social worker do next, which is why you also should know that your focus should be on the last thing the social worker did and not necessarily the last thing in the scenario, because sometimes that will not be right here and people get confused with that. So if they say anything that the social worker did last, that is what we want to focus on. So the last thing she did, she explored his feelings. The very next thing after I explore his feelings, now I want to develop awareness around his feelings to let him know that these feelings that he may be experiencing, the depression that he experienced all throughout his school years, can now be what is affecting him and causing the depression. Okay, addressing the fact that he's still living in the past, that might sound a little bit confrontational, but awareness is going to be the first step in helping the client integrate and process his feelings, because we explored them. Now let's process them. The social worker sharing her personal experiences, it's not warranted and inappropriate at this time. Providing psychoeducation does not address the client's priority issue, okay, which is all of this right here. And the other option is not therapeutic and may not be helpful to the client at this time. Again, I think that one could probably come off as confrontational or judgmental. So the next thing we're going to do here is definitely going to be D, assist the client in developing awareness around his feelings related to being bullied. Let me know in the comments if y'all have any questions, if y'all understood this, if y'all understood the way the helping process works in regards to get to your answer here, exploring the feelings and then processing the feelings. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. And if y'all haven't, like, subscribe, share it with somebody who y'all feel like it could definitely help. And again, thank y'all for being here. Until next time, I will talk to y'all soon.